Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024 business meeting agenda of the Oyster Bay East Norwich School District. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and can everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let's turn it over to correspondence. Ms. Santos?
Yes. On 9/24, we have an email from Mariah Paredes regarding OBHS for, varsity cheer. We have an email on 9/25 from Rebecca Carleo regarding athletic practices. We have various emails from Heather Nadalny regarding several emails regarding JR. We have an email from Roberto Carleo regarding transportation issue with children to Kellenberg from Oyster Bay. The email from Tom Winhausen regarding the updated written request. We have a class of 1974 Butch Garrison email. Tom Winhausen regarding inquiry regarding sideline enforcement. Nora Winhausen an inquiry regarding sideline enforcement follow-up, and an email on 10/17 from Tom Winhausen regarding 21st Century Project misrepresentation of status.
Thank you, Ms. Santos. Dr. Yanni, I'd appreciate clarity on the following points that Mr. Winhausen asked to the board in his letter to the board about the 21st Century bond. But since they're mostly administrative in nature, I want to specifically read some of the questions, and so hopefully you can give some answers. What specifically about Phase 3 improvements caused a delay from the state?
So in terms of the approval from the state, I do not have any control of that. The state approves it when they approve it. I don't have any control of that.
Okay, if the submissions were made on time by the school district, what was the state's reasoning for the delay?
So the submission was made on time, and like I said, I just don't have the reason why the state is delay on it, number one. And the second thing is also that the state does not provide a reason with the delay. I wish they would be on time, honestly.
Has there been any prior communication to the community regarding the delay?
So in terms of the communication, when the minute we receive approval, the permit from the state, we will provide the community with an update on a timeline. It was ineffective at this point to provide the community with a timeline since we didn't have a permit. The minute we have a permit, we'll work with the architect, we'll work with my entire team, district office, we'll work with the construction manager. And the other thing that I would also like to point it out is that the approval from the state is out of my control, out of my team's control. When it becomes part of my control, so once I have the permit, I go full force. And I just want to remind everybody that this project was set in place immediately after COVID, when we, even getting to Home Depot and getting woods was a major project. So the minute we have approval from the state, I will go full force like I've been doing from day one. And as of right now, we've been doing pretty well in terms of timeline. Yeah.
And what are the current expected start and end dates for Phase 3 construction?
As soon as I get the permit, I will bring the whole team together and get going. And I can sit over here and speculate on the timeline, and I want this project to be done, so I can say that the project was completely done on time. It may be a month later, and if that's the case, it's not going to be because of my work, my time, my team's time. I've literally spent my past 2 summers with working pretty much 7 days a week, and a lot of the people could tell you, and I just cannot thank enough my team, my custodial staff, my construction manager, the architect, and everybody involved, and my principals, my staff. So as soon as I have the permit, I will get it done, and as soon as possible, so hopefully we'll get it done by December. That would be a great December gift for me.
And the project's often been presented as on time and on budget. How long has this not been the case?
So we have been, the beautiful thing about this project is that we are several $1 million under budget, and so far, the completion of Phase 2, and looks beautiful, by the way, has been, project has been done up to Phase 2 has been on time. So as soon as we get the, like I said, as soon as we get the permit and we get that going, then we'll hopefully finish the entire project on time. But as of right now, Phase 2 is on time and under budget, so.
Well, thank you.
No
Actually,
problem.
having it be under budget is pretty incredible, considering the time that it was started during COVID. So I want to thank you for that and all your hard work.
Thank you.
Does the board have any comments?
Ms. Gorski, I do. Thinking back to when we brought the bond before our community and the overwhelming support we had from our community, going back to Phase 1 and having that beautiful turf built at our high school that for many, many years, many of us in the community had wanted, on to Phase 2 and what we've achieved. This coming weekend, we'll be having a ribbon cutting at Theodore Roosevelt for the extension that we've put on, which provides beautiful learning space for our youngest learners and including services that are needed for many of our students. And just yesterday, I took a walk around Vernon and was blown away by how beautiful just the exterior of the building is and how seamlessly we've incorporated our new music wing, again, for all of our music students to enjoy at Vernon to complement the music wing we have up here at our high school. So I personally want to thank not just you, your entire team, our custodian, our grounds crew, all of the construction teams that have helped make the facilities a better place for our students. But when I think back to that bond passing and how much has been completed in such a short period of time, I'm amazed by that. So I want to thank all of you and the staff for making that come to fruition for our students.
Thank you so much.
I just want to say the Vernon cafeteria is absolutely beautiful. My daughter, all her friends enjoy it so much every day. Anastasia and Mr. Morrow have been so welcoming and warm to all the third graders that have came in. Definitely think the cafeteria is their favorite part of the day. And it's absolutely beautiful, especially, I ate lunch there a long time ago, so seeing my daughter eat in a brand new cafeteria is really wonderful, and I'm very grateful for everything you've done, Dr. Yanni.
Thank you.
Dr. Yanni, I think what's unique to the Oyster Bay School District is that we have one elementary, one middle school, and one high school. So what the nice thing is that when we go forward with a bond, those improvements impact everyone in the community, not just a subset of the community when you have districts with multiple elementary schools and multiple high schools. So this community came together and decided that they care about the infrastructure of their schools, they're investing for tomorrow, and it started with the last bond where we did the high school, and then recognizing that we needed a elementary school improvement, a middle school improvement. I think the entire community is now benefiting from these improvements. We're attracting young families into the community with state-of-the-art facilities. We do a board walk-around every year, and Dr. Yanni, when he showed us the music wings that our kids were learning in Vernon, or showed us janitor closets where AIS students were learning, or back at the stage at Roosevelt, it was appalling to the board. We all agreed that we're going to put it out to the community, and we thank you that you came in under budget, because our community supported a very large bond, which $30 million is a lot for our community, and the fact that you're so under budget And now we can resize that bond in a higher interest rate environment. We can make up for that, the fact that, you know, right now the cost of funds is a little bit higher, and the cost of equipment is higher, but you somehow figured out how to get it under budget, and I think the community, from the people I speak to, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you, Dr. Yanni, and Maureen. I know how much work you've put into our bond as well. Let's move on to the superintendent's report.
Sure. At this point, I would like to invite to the podium our Nassau County legislator to give a citation. I think we also have, okay. So we'll start with you, County Legislator Samantha Getz. Thank you so much for coming.
Sorry, my shoes were clunky. So good evening. My name is Samantha Getz, and I'm your Nassau County Legislator in this area. And I'm here for good news. I want to congratulate this board, this school, Miss Aragon, we talked about this, Dr. D, for your incredible work with this high school. You guys have achieved a 100% graduation rate in 2024, and that is absolutely impressive. And I also want to thank Dr. Yanni. That just shows how much support these students have. It is not easy. You guys have a lot of obstacles, and I really just think you should all be recognized for your hard work, recognizing which students needed a little extra help to get them over the finish line. So you should really be proud of yourself. This is very, very impressive. I think the last time this happened was 20 years ago. So it's really a very, very impressive achievement. So congratulations to each and every one of you for that achievement. So to the Oyster Bay High School, I want to award this citation on behalf of the county. Absolutely. And even more, to show the testament of how great this school district is and what you guys are achieving, we have two students who have won the National Merit Semifinalist. This is incredible. There are, I think it's 1.3 or 4. There's an incredible 1-point-something million students who get screened for this award, and you had two in this school district who achieved this award. And they are Adrian Kim and Brandon Antonetti. Coming up. This is such a testament to the school that supports you, but to yourselves for the hard work, the dedication, and the discipline, the passion of learning that you guys have. So thank you so much for making us all proud. It's the start of something very great for your future. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much, and you should all be so proud because you guys are doing really wonderful things here in the Oyster Bay East Norwich School District. So thank you, Dr. Yanni, and thank you to the school board.
The week of October 18th to the 24th is National School Board Recognition Week, which recognizes school board members for their commitment to our school and community. Recognizing board service should be a year-round endeavor. by designing 1 week as an opportunity to promote awareness and understanding of the important work board members do to support our students. Together with the board, we've been collaborating on many initiatives, but mostly we've been working on making sure that our vision of empowering all our students to achieve excellence is a reality. Set the direction of school district to achieve the highest student performance, develop a budget that is fiscally responsible and aligns the district resource to provide students with the best success opportunity, and most importantly, allowing us, the administrators, teachers, staff, to create a safe environment for our students. So on behalf of the entire community, we just want to say thank you for making Oyster Bay the best place to work and study and learn. Thank you so much for all that you do. As Ms. Castrogiovanni stated before, we have a ribbon cutting ceremony this Saturday, October 26th at 11 a.m. at Roosevelt, so hopefully you'll be able to join us. We have prepared a wonderful ceremony, so hopefully we'll see a lot of you there. Parent University is also an initiative that we have put in place last year to work with parents on different programs. So this coming Thursday, October 24th at 7 p.m., we will have a Parent University, and we have several presentations on anti-bullying and navigating the technology that we use in the district. So hopefully you don't have to, you can sign up and just be part of it. It's a wonderful initiative. On Thursday last week, October 17th, all 3 schools in the district celebrated Unity Day, emphasizing the power of kindness, acceptance, and inclusion. Students, faculty, and staff wore orange attire to commemorate the day and engaged in various activities that promote this vital message. Very proud of the work that the principals and the staff have done to create that safe environment. I made sure I wear my orange tie. Told my wife 3 times the day before, so I made it. So very proud of the work that you do. Congratulations, keep it up. And at this point, I would like to, everything would be not possible if the books were not in order. So at this point, I would like to invite to the podium Chris Snyder from R.S. Abrams, their external auditor, to give a presentation about the financial of the district. So we're looking forward to that. Chris?
All right, I got the clicker figured out. I think we're good to go. So again, a couple weeks back, we had met with the full board in our audit committee meeting, which is a more detailed version of what I'm going to go through today. Today will be a very high-level summary. We will go through the same slides again a little more quickly than we had previously, but if there are questions or items that want to be discussed, please just bring those up. Most importantly, in terms of the results of our current year audit, is that you received unmodified opinions on the 3 reports that we issued. So we issued 3 sets of reports. We have the district's financials as a whole. We have your extra classroom activity fund financial statements, as well as the single audit, which is an audit of your federal grant programs. Again, an unmodified opinion is the highest level opinion. That's a clean opinion. So congratulations there. Second bullet point here, which deserves acknowledgement as well, though I don't think we're going to have pictures per Zach, is that the business office was great during this process. Inherently, audits are a difficult process, so props to Maureen, Zach, and the team for getting through this cleanly. Zach, you want to wave? There we go. All right, so moving on from there, in terms of the deliverables that we issue, I just mentioned the financial statements, but on top of that, we have something called the management letter, which is where we would speak to any issues and any recommendations that we had tied to those issues. Good news to report there as well is that there were no issues and thus nothing noted in this management letter. Beyond that, just there's some required auditing communications that per our auditing standards we have to present to the board and to the community. Again, nothing notable there, so I'll move through there pretty quickly. The rest of these slides, which again are available online, you can go through in detail if needed, but in terms of high-level things that are worth noting, again, you had clean opinions on your financial statements. There are a series of funds that are presented in those financial statements, inclusive of your general fund, which is your voter-adopted, where you have your voter-adopted budget housed. You have some other funds as well, which are detailed in this presentation. Of note, you have a series of reserves, which the board has established, and you're able to fund over time to be able to pay off certain expenditures. So again, you have healthy funding of these reserves, and then notably that unassigned fund balance at the bottom is your, what you call your excess fund balance. The state limits this at 4% of next year's budget, and you're at that 4%, which is another great thing. Just skipping through a little bit. So this slide here is a depiction of year-over-year fluctuations with your revenues and expenditures within that general fund that I mentioned previously. So in terms of some major fluctuations that you'll see, I'll skip to the next slide. So again, you'll see an increase in real property taxes year over year. That's consistent with the levy that was voter approved in the budget that was passed last May. You saw an increase in charges for services year over year due to additional special ed students serviced from other districts. And then lastly, we mentioned this before, but there's an increase in interest rates and thus an increase in the line that houses those revenues, which is called use of money and property. Additionally, within the general fund, you had expenditures increase for a variety of line items, including instruction due to salary increases and pupil service expenditures, employee benefits due to higher premium costs, which is standard for the industry at this point, and increases in retirement payouts for those accumulated sick and vacation days per their respective contracts. And lastly, you had debt service principal increase as a result of redemption of bond anticipation notes prior to the issuance of the bonds that were discussed earlier in the meeting. So again, overall, the district is in a healthy position in terms of fund balance, in terms of overall financial health. There's a series of reasons outlined here for why that's important. So with that, I will open it up to any questions.
Any questions from the board?
No, I just want to thank Zach and Maureen. No findings is or recommendations is pretty unheard of, so I really commend you for that.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you. It's great to see a clean audit report.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Take care.
Okay, let's move on to the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes as listed and attached below?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll have the administer the oath of office to the district clerk. Okay, let's move on to the opportunity for the public to be heard on agenda items. In accordance with the open meeting law, school board meetings where school district business will be discussed are open to the public. The Oyster Bay East Norwich Board of Education welcomes public comment on its meetings. The Board of Education will respond to comments and/or inquiries in the appropriate manner. This portion of the meeting is designed exclusively for agenda items. A sign-in book is provided for those residents wishing to address the board. In order to be recognized, you must be signed in. Each speaker will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes. The board president will call you to the microphone in the order in which you have signed in. Public discussion is prohibited regarding matters relating to an individual's reputation, privacy, or right to due process, which in some way could be violated. A second commentary period is provided for non-agenda items prior to adjournment. See, we have signed in. Miss Mariah Paredes, field trip, cheer.
I see on the agenda, item 13 is up for discussion, which is policy 8440, field trips and excursions. I do hope that this is to remove the limitation on distances of travel, be it for sports, college trips, or any other trip. Since it's on the agenda and we're coming close to the time of needing to place a deposit on the national cheerleading competition, I would like to remind the board and explain to the new board members our travel disaster. There's been ongoing discussion about the amount of days that the team misses of school. So in February, we were slated to miss 1 day of school, Monday. We traveled on Friday, not missing a minute of school, taking one of the last flights of the day. The plane was scheduled to depart at 7:29 p.m. and land at 10:30 p.m. We landed at 1:47 a.m. We got to the hotel at 2:53 a.m. I have a picture taken at 3:24 a.m. of the coaches and Miss Argaman still checking in. Everyone was in their hotel rooms at 4 a.m. The competition was at 8:28 p.m., thankfully. I'm sure we can agree that this was extremely dangerous to be on the road traveling at that hour. If we count up the time we need, it's about 5.5 hours from the point of the plane landing for them to get into a hotel room, being that we are checking in many rooms at a time with minors. For this upcoming year, our division is slated for round 1 to be on Saturday again. That again is in the time frame of 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Your exact mat time is not given until much closer to the event. Semifinals are on Sunday and finals are on Monday. If this trip does get approved in the future, I really strongly urge you to reconsider the departure time of the athletes for their safety and also the ultimate goal of making it to finals.
Thank you, Ms. Paredes. Okay. Oh, Ms. Laura Kessler, field trip.
This is nerve-wracking. Okay, 3 minutes, go. Okay. My name's Laura, and thank you. And yes, I'm talking to the same thing. Thank you guys in advance if this is something you're going to approve. I think if it is something you're going to approve, then the most important thing is that these girls feel supported. And I think the number one way these girls can feel supported is that they are set up for success. And studies show what's one of the number one things for setting these girls up for success, and that's adequate rest. And that's to deal with their mental health, anxiety that they have to deal with competing, is to deal with their body being strong enough to do the lifts and things they need to do. So how do we set these girls up for success? She kind of alluded to it, and I'm going to kind of walk you back here. So they could have to be at the performance place ready to perform at 6 a.m. So studies show 8 hours of sleep. So we need to get them to bed around 10. So what does that look like? It's 5.5 hours of travel, and so that means we need to take off at 4. Okay, so we need a plane that takes off at 4 because we have a big group. We got to check them all in. It takes at least 2 hours. We got to be there by 2, right? I'm new here, but they say it takes about an hour to get to the airport. Okay, maybe an extra 30 minutes for like a, if there's a car accident. So then with the girls, best case scenario, there's no layovers, there's no delays. Best case scenario, they have to leave the school at 12:30 to be able to get in bed by 10 p.m. to be at the performance at 6 a.m. So that is kind of what we're looking at. It's needing, because the competition is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, So we need the Monday because the end of the competition, even though we're going to leave before it's done, but we also need that half day on Friday to set the girls up for success. So, you know, I'm in the medical world. I'm taking my boards in a couple of days. And so as I think about when I'm, you know, treating my patient, everything is a risk versus benefit analysis, right? So in this situation, what's the risk? The risk is that they lose a half a day of school, right, on Friday. And that's something they can do work beforehand to make up for that. But what's the benefit? And I think this is really important, okay? The benefit, the number one success indicator for success is not IQ, not skill, but it's grit. What's grit? Grit is perseverance in the midst of a difficult situation to achieve a long-term goal. And I haven't been here long, but these girls have grit. They work so hard. And the growth mindset is that we don't praise the outcome. We praise the grit. And how do we praise and honor the grit? That is to set them up for success, to say, you worked hard. We want to make sure that we honor that by making sure you can get 8 hours of sleep before you compete. So that's what I'm asking you to do for these girls, is to honor what they're doing. Thanks.
Thank you. Also, we're going to go out of order a little bit because Jake Blumenkrantz is here for a second.
So thank you. I would like to invite to the podium Jake Blumenkrantz, our assemblyman. Jake?
Thank you so much, Superintendent, and thank you to the board for going a little bit out of order and having me here today. I am coming here because this is a very special occasion on two fronts. On one, I wanted to congratulate the board on the 100% graduation rate. It is a fantastic achievement and no small feat. And so on behalf of myself and the 19 million New Yorkers, I wanted to provide the board with a citation for their hard work, dedication, and all they've done to make sure that Oyster Bay East Norwich stays one of the best schools in America. So thank you very much. Lastly, I'd like to recognize two really amazing students on their outstanding achievement, both Brandon and Adrian. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication becoming a National Merit finalist. I don't know if they're still here or not. Okay, good. So I will make sure these are delivered to them, but I also have two citations for them for their amazing achievements at becoming semifinalists. So thank you all so much. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure everyone was recognized. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Approval of instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to approval of non-instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the non-instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. Do you have a motion? Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to the approval of business items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the business items as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
BOCES budgets are usually submitted prior to the state budget being approved, so this is just reallocating funds to cover the BOCES expenses for any shared expenses we have, shared services, excuse me. Yes, the majority of these transfers are within BOCES codes, so it's redistributing them within certain budget codes, but a couple of them were short that we had to fund from other sources.
Okay, move on to approval of business items. So resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the business items listed in their entirety. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to approval of special services resolution. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the special services resolutions as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of new business resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the new business resolutions as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Let's move on to the items for discussion, which is the policy number 8440. Dr. Yanni?
Thank you, Ms. Kowalski. At this point, knowing the information regarding the trip and the policy 8440 that limits the miles that they can be away, any group can be away from Oyster Bay, the 550 miles. Given the fact that the cheerleader team supports the trip financially in its entirety, and that there is an effort to make sure that there is a limited number in terms of the missing the school days, and also based on the fact that the county, I think it's every year, the county competition is after the Orlando trip. It would be my recommendation at this point for the 24-25 school year, and for this particular group, to pause the 550 miles and defer back to the athletic director and the coach to come up with a schedule that would be educationally sound and at the same time safe and appropriate for the cheerleader team. That's my recommendation.
Okay, does everyone agree?
I agree.
Yep.
Agree.
Agreed. Thank you.
Congratulations, ladies.
Okay, let's move on to the opportunity for the public to be heard on non-agenda items. I don't think anyone signed in. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. We have to go back into exec for personnel.
So moved.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.